Soule is not just one of the city's premier soul food restaurants. For owner Bridgette Flagg, it's a movement centered around food, culture, and community. Her new book, The Recipe to Life, Every Dish Tells a Story, invites readers into more than her kitchen. Bridgette, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So talk to me about this marriage between your story and your recipes. How did you come up with this idea?
Oh my God. So one day I just wrote the book because I felt like the story needs to be told of how Soule got started. Soule is more than a restaurant to me. It's all about community. It's about giving second chances. And I felt like everybody should know the story.
When did you kind of first have this idea that, hey, I want to write a cookbook, but I'm not quite sure the method in which I want to do it, and if I'm emotionally ready to do it?
Yes, I came up with the idea about 6 years ago, but the way that I wanted to go back then, it was a little traumatized, and I wasn't ready to face, things that I had hidden in the closet. So about in January, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and write this book. The story has to be told. I felt like the people need to really know the mission behind Soule, and I felt like if they knew the mission, then they would support the restaurant more. I felt like God gave me a second chance at life. That's why I hired the way that I hire. 70% of my staff has been to the justice system. 60% of my staff comes from North Lawndale. I've never been to prison by the grace of God, but I tell people I did a lot of things to get there, but he knew I wasn't ready to go there. So he said, you know what, girl, let me give you this restaurant and get you, right on the right path. So that's how Soule got started.
Wonderful. So talk to me about, was it difficult for you to kind of revisit you talked about, it took you 6 years to finally decide, hey, I really do want to finish this project. At the point where you started sitting down and actually writing it, was it difficult at times to kind of look back and revisit some of that trauma that you've experienced?
Absolutely. Believe it or not, 2 days before the book launch, I got scared. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to be judged. But you know what? I said, look here. The girl that I am in this book, I'm not her anymore. And I had to be that girl to become the woman that I am today. And I also wrote this book to inspire people, let them know that your yesterday is not yours today and your today is not yours tomorrow. As long as you want to do good in life, good will come to you. And everything that we go through, the Bible says, Romans 8:28, that all things work together for our good. So I had to go through those things to get where I need to be today. So that's how came up with the recipe to life.
And in terms of the recipes themselves, how did you kind of pick which, hey, I'm going to tell this story and then this recipe is going to follow it? Talk to me about the format a little bit.
So this book referenced like 5 years before I actually opened up the restaurant.
Yeah.
So I came home from Jackson State. I went through some things. I found my father dead. A lot of people, my family died in the book. My mother died, my father died, my grandmother died. And it was like different stories. So the first chapter is called The Dumbo. And I was doing a lot of crazy things in life that equates to a pot of gumbo. Then feeling smothered. I felt like the weight of the world was on top of me, so that's smothered chicken. Then I went from one thing to the next, which is dirty rice, and I was living life wild. So that's the dirty 30s. And every chapter has like getting to the money is greens, But every story, it just reflects a time where I had to go through it, like I said, and I got through it. And God was all up and through this book. I made a lot of bad decisions in my life. I tell everybody I got my butt kicked through that whole book from men, women, and bad decisions. I was a victim of domestic violence. I did a lot of crazy things. I was what can I say? I was a product of my environment. And sometimes we just play the cards that we are dealt, but something woke up in me like, this is not the life that you should live. And I just went after a right life. And I asked God, if you saved me from whatever jail or hell I was going to, I wouldn't disappoint him. And he did just that. So the recipe to life is God.
And I'm so curious about, spreading that message. And today you're going to be at the Black Women's Expo.
Yes.
How rewarding is that for you to tell your story and see people, I'm sure, respond in such a positive way that it's inspiring?
Yes.
And makes them feel empowered, too, to say, like, I can accomplish something no matter what may have happened to me in the past.
Yes, and that was the whole purpose. Everybody that reads the book, like, I can't believe you told that story. And guess what? It gives people hope to let them know that, man, I started this way, but this does not have to be my finish. So I'm just excited to tell my journey. At the Black Women's Expo, I hope that I can inspire everybody to just keep pushing forward and just, through God, you can do anything.
Well, as we just mentioned, Bridgette will be speaking at the Black Women's Expo today. That's later this morning at 11 at the McCormick Place Convention Center. For tickets and details, visit bwenext.com. And you can find some of the great dishes featured in Bridgette's book at the restaurant Soule is located at 3615 West Roosevelt. You can find them online, of course, also at soulechicago.com. Thank you so much for being here, Bridgette. And what an inspiring
Thank you
story.
for having me.
We appreciate it so much.